Greetings once again, heroes and villains. Duuz-Diz-Din back at it again with My Hero Academia. Previously, Deku found himself in the crosshairs of the assassin Lady Nagant, a former hero who became disillusioned with the world, as the Hero Association had coerced her, in the name of justice and peace, to kill several people. And when she started to feel that what she was being told wasn't quite the truth, taking out her superior officer, she was essentially framed for all the killing, saying she simply went mad. After being freed from prison, All for One had granted her an extra quirk and tasked her with capturing Deku, with her also using Overhaul as a bit of bait since Deku is a hero. He would want to save Overhaul if he was in danger. But thanks to Deku's newest one-for-all ability, Fa-Jin, which helps to build kinetic energy and release it, depending on how much he manages to build up, Deku was able to one-up Lady Nagant, and while he did manage to capture her, he also tried to appeal to her better nature, with Deku noticing that while she was after him, and even using Overhaul as bait, she never went for anything lethal or harmful to any major degree. That Deku still seeing the goodness in her compromised her, setting off All for One's bit of insurance should she be turned, detonating an explosive within her. But Hawks motivates her to push through, continue to live, and let them know the location of All for One's hideout. With this, our heroes have taken another step forward to finding One for All. Now, All for One. But are they ready to face off once again with the villain? Or will they come up short? Join me as I find out, won't you? 2 months. In 2 months, at a mansion in Habari Woods. I was supposed to bring the target there, other than me. A few others were told the same thing. That look in his eyes, All for One. Habari Woods, former hideout of the Creature Rejection Clan. Again, I always forget that's what that hideout is. Even in the manga, when they told the story in order, I forgot. Bashidas, Mount Lady, Endeavor, Kamui, Edgeshot, Hawks, let's do this. Be careful. Yeah, we don't know what traps there are either. Wait, Deku, don't be rash. All for One and Shigaraki. They're still not in a state to steal One for All. Oh man, he looks so intense. As expected, it's empty. Did you enjoy your Q&A with Lady Nagant, Izuku Midori? If this had activated, then that's what it means. I love how that music just picks up. I like to think that it's also coming out of his recording. I like trying to predict things. A person like you wouldn't be able to abandon a person like her, right? I didn't force her to do anything. It was her will. People who experience setbacks in life are called villains. Even if they extol quirks and individualism, in the end, it's a regulated society. Those who don't fit in are ostracized. There are no exceptions. That is something interesting that keeps being brought to the forefront. Those who are not able to fit in are ostracized. Those who aren't able to be productive or aren't able to contribute properly. It is an underlying thing with the Hero Society, but I often feel like it's not highlighted enough in this series. Democracy or socialism are the roots are the same. It's a problem from before society. It's a principle of living in group. The path you've chosen is thorny. Every time you fight, your heart will be worn down. It will never end. While I was in prison, I kept thinking about you. I'm not interested in that oaf All Might anymore. Next, it's your turn. I love that. It's the dark reflection of what All Might said. It's your turn. Oh! Ba-bam! Of course it was an explosive. We were able to narrowly escape the explosion, but all traces of Lee have been blown away. We can't get any other information from Lady Nagant. Looks like it's impossible. According to the doctor at Central Hospital, she's so seriously hurt that it's strange she's still alive. So a person battered by despondency and despair is on the verge of death, huh? Endeavor, don't you think it's about time we took our chances? We should share the secret of One for All with more than just a few select heroes, and create a giant dragnet to do a comprehensive search. What became obvious with the incident with Lady Nagant is that the future investigation, his league will focus the burden even more on Midoriya. The police already have their hands full managing the causes they have, and there are still no eyewitness reports. Before our only hope is exhausted, we should have a support system. The day before yesterday, Death Arms resigned, running around with no time for a break. And what I get in exchange for doubt and people venting their anger. Yeah. Death Arms was a character that I actually enjoyed as time went on, and to have him be one that quit, like, Mountain Lady, Kamui, and Death Arms were like the smaller time heroes, but they were still pretty big. And him quitting's the one that just made me go, really? Like, that was the most genuine, like, really, he quit? He always seemed to be a little bit tougher than that. But then, you get the explanation and I understand. Yeah, I know. I hear the support too. But one boo can overshadow 10 cheers. Yeah. People criticize, but like, sometimes it just takes one person to just say something that just really gets under your skin and it just becomes all-consuming. This is my first time feeling like this. I thought I was different. I'm sure it was like this for the others too. It looks like I wasn't a hero. I was just human. In the last battle, he took initiative to round up all the spy heroes in the Paranormal Liberation Front. He was a hero with grit. Anyone's thread could be broken tomorrow. Really, there is no end to those taking off their costumes even now. The press is getting closer and closer to Deku. Information is leaking from the resigning heroes. Yeah, that's true too. It's like, that's a major thing. Some real people who seem to be a lot more determined have quit, and to have them quit with the information they could hold could compromise everything. With the loss of order, power is dominant right now. If the reality of One for All is exposed to the world, it can cause a chain reaction of negativity to focus on Deku. I can imagine plenty of bad things happening. I mean, they're already happening right now. I've been thinking, why doesn't All for One tell the public about Midoriya and One for All? It seems like something he'd do right away. If he does, then we'd mobilize everyone and isolate Deku. Since he hasn't said anything, he wants to avoid this too. However, for us, if Deku doesn't move, we don't even have the chance of getting their scent. Neither the police nor the heroes are enough. Yeah, that's what always got me about when this whole event started, and it was especially once we get into future stuff, people, even like real people in the real world, are like, oh man, the heroes, they're not doing well enough, they're not doing good enough, they're dragging the kids into this, and it's just like, no, that's the thing. That's what Horikoshi is trying to highlight throughout all this. The heroes are so backed into a corner, and they say it plenty of times too. We have to keep relying on these kids to help us. It's not enough. We need help. It's a desperate situation. And I've had people just praise some heroes who end up dying or giving their lives, but it's at the same time, it's just like, but once they give their lives, once they die off, who else is gonna step up? It's gonna be the kids one way or another. It's a terrible situation, because this is the kind of stuff the kids were trained for. Not exactly, but disaster relief, fighting villains, hero response. They're earning their real-world experience throughout all this. Oh, notification now. Shota, hey, pick up the phone. Once you're done crying, stand up. We'll all go stop Toya together. Sorry, Shota. Please wait a little longer. Right now. Oh, it's mine. It's from All Might. Midoriya has come into contact with second hired gun, and he won instantly. Would have loved to see that go down. Ah, look. Look, people were loving this. Young man, you didn't have any information. You might explode too. Be careful. Wait a minute, food. You haven't eaten, have you? All right, I'm fine now. You don't have to follow me. Really, I'm next to your turn. I'm fine now. The funny thing is, that makes me immediately think, because All Might was already thinking it too, but it's like, it's the same thing he was doing with Night Eye. Kind of pushing him back, pushing him away, saying that he's fine when he's obviously not. That's not. I can move at the same level as your 100% without backlash. That's why, if you continue like this, you'll face off against the villain and die an unspeakably gruesome death. That's why you're trying not to get me caught up in this. In your mission as successor for One for All, I want you to tell the world that I am here. You don't look back at me anymore, huh? That's why you don't have to worry. I did swear to protect him and raise him. But wait a minute, I know how big this burden you must carry alone is. Don't work too hard. It's okay to to rest. I need to tell you these things, young man. It can be so hard, especially when you see someone making the same mistakes you did. As like, do I have a right to tell them not to do this? Will they even listen? Yeah, I've been in that same situation where it's just like, you're making all the same mistakes I did, and it costs me a lot. And what you're going through has even higher stakes. But who's creeping? Uh-oh. He appears without a sound. I love the way people... I do love this moment. I heard that he has a bunch of different quirks. Isn't that All For One's ability? Is he a Noma? But I heard he saves people. I heard that he's always hurt and covered in blood and dirt. I will admit, the intensity of how he looked was a lot more like disheveled, dirty, grimy in the manga, but this is still cool. And that he doesn't look like a hero at all. Change of plans, Deku. At this rate, your body won't be able to hold up. Looks like we should get a date for the official defense overseas soon. If we have more people, we have more options for what we can do. You're the key. You can't be worn down here. I can still move. I'm fine. You can't give the villains time to prepare. Nice. Your wounds aren't fully healed yet. This isn't time for you to push yourself yet. He's ignoring them. My feelings have become a burden. Now, everything's equal with that kid, for better or for worse. The manifestation of her quirks has allowed him to put into practice his guiding principle, to be a superhero who helps people in trouble everywhere. His path is correct, leader. He can't stand still, especially not under these circumstances. That's what it means to have one for all and us. However, if there were one thing Izuku Midori needs right now, it would be... Instantly all taken down. Are you hurt? Does the quirk do you work for All For One? No, I don't. That's good then. That's good. We're fine. Really, we're fine. All For One. What does he want to do? Where is he? I have to stop Shigaraki. I have to stop the League of Villains. Don't let them hurt anyone else. Next is your turn. I need to complete One For All. Next is your turn. He's burdened by expectation in order for everyone to live in peace again. And that's kind of the plan, too. Wear him down. He's in this state of mind. This is what All For One was after. Yeah, he has a lot of power. He has a lot of capability. But he's running himself ragged. He's not allowing anyone to help him. He's not allowing himself to rest. And at some point, he's gonna slip up. Send as many low-level losers as you want. That's the whole point of unleashing all these villains from all these prisons. They might not be anything to sneeze at in a one-on-one fight with a top-of-his-game Deku, but if Deku's at the top of his game all the time, eventually he's not. He's gonna slip. He's gonna fall. He's gonna fail. In order to smile with everyone again. Oh, there it is. In order. Danger sense. Rampaging because of impatience. Wishing to be alone and then exhaustion. It's just as that person said. Numbers equal justice. If I bring you in, then I'm secure. Dictator. A jailbreaker from Tartarus. A hired gun. I hope you will tell me where All For One is. Oh, will you fight? Good, fight! Fight against these ignorant fools. My body's moving by itself. Stop, please stop. Dictator. Trust was the one who apprehended him. I think it was 5 years ago. 5 years ago during the bloodless surrender case, his quirk Despot, he can be removed by delivering a strong hit to his victims or knocking him out. But of course he's got a plan to counter that, using people as shield. Can't attack with anything big. Air Force. I don't have my gloves. Black Whip. Our bodies are just moving. You're not controlling them. I know it's okay. I'll break the spell over you. It's alright. I'm thinking of a solution right now. Yeah, damn it. There we go. Armor piercing shots! Just like that. It's a simple situation, but that's the problem. This is a situation that Deku easily could have figured out normally. If there's one thing Izuku Midori needs right now, it would be friends. Oh, I love how the title comes in. Found him, you guys. Oh, that's so good. I love how that title comes. Oh, dude. Oh, dude. Now, that is straight from the manga. Although I will say that scene where he's just walking down the street with Black Whip all over the place and just it was gloriously animated too. They didn't have to do too much, just enough. And it was like I'd love just a gif of that. Like, I love this look for Deku. I don't want him constantly looking like this, because I like my soft boy Deku. But it feels like this is like the step right before he finally gets his costume like right. After Izuku Midoriya left UA. Is that true? Yeah. It's just a guess though. Oh, but he's with Endeavor and the others, that damn nerd. Guess. You didn't call to check? All three of your mentors. I called many times. However, Hawks did not pick up. Denimhead didn't either. Neither did Dad. Even if he's busy, it's weird. All I can think is that they're hiding something from us. It looks like All Might hasn't come back either, right? Yeah. Classes have been suspended. And we can't even get promoted to the next grade. The Hero Corps students are basically being told to stand by in the dorms or help with securing this area. It's hard to get any details like this. Denimhead and Spoonbill both approached Deku in the hospital, and All Might too. These letters. If he's scared to even get close to UA, then who put them in the door in the middle of the night? It had to have been All Might. They must all be working together. If he's with the adults, then he should be okay, The news only reported that the top three had teamed up. All Might wasn't included. That's why I'm saying I don't know Endeavor and those guys that well, but I know Deku and All Might. It's probably the worst case scenario. Then we need to figure out how to contact Midoriya, right? Endeavor graduated from UA, right? Let's force our way in. Force their way into the plot. Principal, you set me up, didn't you? I listened to them and determined that it'd be worth a discussion with you. I'm always updating what I do. Why have you been ignoring me? Didn't we talk about stopping Toya together? Shoto, I was saved by just those feelings. Well, I wasn't. Is Midoriya an exception? Endeavor, you left Deku and All Might alone together, right? I knew it. Yeah, that makes sense. It'd generally be the right thing to do. But you don't know anything about Deku. Deku, he's crazy. He doesn't consider himself. He just says it's fine. All Might became the symbol of peace like that too. So he can't stop Deku when he's like this. Endeavor. Those two shouldn't be left alone together. It's an ominous sounding thing, but it's true because it's like, All Might's not going to make Deku stop. That's the thing, because he was the same. He's too considerate of what Deku's trying to do, but he's just like, he won't force him to just stop a moment. And that's what Deku needs. It's not that they're trying to force him not to do what he's doing, but it's like, it's the way he's going about it. That's terrible. It looks like he's now shaking off All Might too. Midoriya, if only we'd been as fast as him. If only we could be by his side. But, is that a GPS? Oh! Knocked it out of his hand. Can we borrow this? They said as they steal his phone. Just a guy who happened to end up in Midoriya's class. I just happened to spend this year with him. Me too. I can't believe he didn't say anything about his worries about One For All to me. And I'm shocked that he thought that I'd be convinced with a letter like that, but those of us in Class A will follow him and act along with him. No matter how much responsibility goes hand in hand with One For All. Midoriya is our friend. Knowing that our friend is walking down a path of thorns, we can't smile about the future. The outside is dangerous. There's no order. For you kids also, you've grown up, Todoroki. I agreed to the team up knowing that he didn't want to come back to UA, because he was being targeted by the villains. But it's okay if he comes back. Ever since we accepted him, he has been a student under our protection. Come join us, this is your Hero Academia. Hero Academia. But if Deku returns here, then what about the safety of all the evacuees? Besides, there are still those among them that are hostile towards us. I didn't accept our status as a designated shelter just because of our size. I'll figure out a way to make them understand. Also, to prepare for the school festival, we reinforced the UA barrier for extra security, but didn't end up using it, so now's our chance to see its true worth. It's fine. All Might grew up in this school too. Bring him back with your own hands. Jailbreak is secured. We did it back again. This great explosion murder got dynamite. Please excuse my error. My body's back. Heroes, everyone. Why? Because we're worried about you. I'm fine. That's why. You don't have to worry. Get away. Oh, that's great. Just what we want from the great One For All successor. So, are you able to smile right now? In order to smile, for everyone to live in peace, I have to go. That's why. Get out of the way, everyone. Make us y'all might wanna be. Midoriya, I know that you haven't changed. Let's do this, everyone. Yeah. Oh, boy. It's essentially an intervention. It's like, dude, you need to stop. You're going to get yourself hurt. We need you to take a break, because even if you find All For One, you right now is in no condition to take him on. you will get yourself one-shotted. That's the thing. And I love that. They're not trying to stop him from doing what he's trying to do. It's just the way he's going about it. And I felt like there was so many people I felt who just didn't get that when the chapters were coming out. It's just like, no. This isn't them saying don't. This is them saying, not this way. Take a moment. Calm it down. Like, if only for a second, dude. And the funny thing is, I tend to complain a lot about what I've seen from manga readers, but I've noticed a lot of times the anime readers are a lot more understanding, but I feel that also comes from the fact that they get a lot more with each episode. Because a lot of these episodes have like 3 to 4 chapters of content behind them. So you're just getting a lot more context. You're getting a lot more understanding. Things are paced a little bit differently. So there's no room to misinterpret things. I mean, there is, but there's less of a chance of you misinterpreting what's trying to be brought across here. And it's always so interesting to see that juxtaposition from what I was reading when I was reading the manga and seeing the comments on that. I'm just like, I feel like people kind of missed a little bit of what was going on here, the nuances of it. And then I'm watching the anime, and then I see the comments here on Crunchyroll and stuff like that, and it's just like, more people seem to jive with it. They understand what's going on. Now, granted, there's still people who don't like when Class A is fully involved. Like, with Class A versus Class B, a lot of people just didn't seem to jive with that. And I'm over here like, oh no, I've been waiting for that to happen. I'm over here like, this is what I was waiting for. Not to mention with all the situations of UA trying to assure the parents that, oh, your students will be fine, the kids will be alright, yada yada yada. If it was them constantly being in life-threatening situations, there'd be people going, why are the parents allowing their kids to be just in these dangerous situations constantly? But now at this point, it's like, I mean, they don't really have a choice. The dangerous situation has gone from going after them in spurts to just being everywhere. Everywhere is danger. Oh man, I feel like the moment when All Might dropped that bento, Deku sounded a little bit meaner in that moment in the manga. But in the anime, it's just, he's just a little dismissive. He's trying to push him away. He's trying not to, he's just like, no, he's behind me, he's protected, he's safe. That's what Deku is thinking of All Might. He's just like, no, I gotta keep him out of harm's way. And All Might's comments on, like, Deku used to look back and look at me when he was in action, but he doesn't look back anymore. And then when he looks back now, it's more like with pity. Like, it's like, All Might is this precious egg that must be protected at all costs. And it really shows the deviousness of All for One, because he knew Deku would spiral like this. He knew the impact that his words would have. I would have loved to have seen Deku take down that second hired gun at least a little bit more, but montages. I do love that. Like, it really shows how just in bad shape Deku was, because you see him just basically using Black Whip to keep him balanced. He's hunched over because it's not so much because it's for intimidation, it's just he's tired. He's tired, and his body's just on autopilot. I also will say Dictator looked a lot more menacing in the manga, but I mean, I feel like the anime just put him up in a way that's just like, yeah, no, he's the fodder. But I've really been enjoying this, and I want to hear from you. Have you been enjoying the dark Deku arc? And are you looking forward to seeing our boy get back to normal? Or do you prefer him being this dark vigilante, working himself almost to death? Let me know in the comments. Also remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on more My Hero Academia. And until the next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.